I am Alicia Couri, the founder and CEO of a boutique consulting firm that specializes in developing audaciously proactive leaders and teams using brain science and people data. You ever look at someone on your team and think, come on, when are they going to take the initiative and do what I need them to do without me constantly having to tell them what to do? Now imagine they're fully leaning into their acute problem-solving abilities and executing at a level you know they're capable of without waiting for you to tell them what to do. They're clear, confident, collaborating and communicating, working in their zone of genius every day without the need to micromanage. That's being audaciously proactive. If you ask someone, they might overestimate their ability to perform. But what we've found is the best way to discover a person's zone of genius is by gathering the brain science data from the right assessment tools. Oh no, they're not. In the same way you wouldn't use a hammer to fix a carburetor, you have to pick the right assessment tool to gather the data. My favorite quote from Albert Einstein says, "Everyone's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its entire life believing it's stupid." We are complex beings, and one assessment will not give you the answers. The right assessment depends on which part of the mind you need the data on. Yes, there are three distinct faculties of the mind that inform us about a person. The cognitive mind is our thinking mind. The affective mind is our emotional mind. And the conative mind, that's the third part, is our action mind. If you only get the data from the emotional mind or just the thinking mind, you really don't know how people are instinctively wired to take action on those thoughts and emotions. If someone on your team is not problem solving or executing at a high level, then they need a conative assessment to understand their action modes. At Alicia Couri Inc., we gather data on all three parts of the mind and design action plans based on the complete picture, not just a third or a half of a person. Within our personal playbook, we're each designed with an MO, or modus operandi, to strive and solve problems in unique ways, but we're not often given the freedom to do that. For example, we're taught to do math a very specific way, but I experienced an incident where my son was once accused of cheating on a math assignment because he didn't solve the problem the teacher's way. He arrived at the correct answer, but not using her methodology. So in her mind, clearly he cheated. How many times in life are we forced to do things someone else's way that feels more difficult or more tedious when so clearly and instinctively we see a better solution? Understanding conation allows us to harness those innate strengths, I call them your superpowers or your zone of genius, to help us solve those problems faster and with greater ease. The four most important things leaders should be aware of when it comes to assessments is: 1, assessments give us incredibly valuable data points on human behavior and performance. 2, these are not tests. A test implies there's a right and a wrong answer, and people get all tied in knots when they're taking tests. Assessments give us data for what is, so much less stress. 3, assessment data can be used in a multitude of ways, from hiring and recruiting to performance reviews, team development, leadership development, promotions, coaching, and so much more. And finally, 4, if you've given assessments in the past, especially in the hiring or recruiting process, and not fully utilized that data beyond that, employees can get frustrated as it becomes a check-the-box exercise without implementing a strategy to really transform teams and leadership engagement to massively impact company culture. Our proprietary system first gathers the data on each individual, identifying their strengths and blind spots. Then we take a look at the team type and compare it to the goals or strategy your company or department is pursuing. We can then identify gaps and areas of conflict, putting your goals at risk. Finally, we provide specific actionable solutions to your challenges, collapsing the time it takes to get your team to higher performance and faster results. With Alicia Couri Inc., we assess all 3 parts of the mind. That's the first differentiator. Also, by understanding a person's behaviors, motivations, how quickly they absorb and process information, and their action modes allows our trained and certified team to spot gaps and areas of potential conflict to co-create a customized action plan alongside you for quick and lasting transformation. If taking your team from ordinary to operating fully in their zone of genius wasn't yet on your to-do list, I would consider how having audaciously proactive employees will improve your life and accelerate your business results utilizing all 3 parts of the mind. Then, I'd put developing audaciously proactive teams on my to-do list and email Alicia at aliciacouri.com to set up a time to talk ASAP. If you're saying, but Alicia, we've used assessments in the past and they just don't work. Well then, I'd say maybe you didn't employ the right assessment or follow-up strategy. So email me, Alicia at aliciacouri.com, and let's talk to see where those gaps were.
Awesome.
Yay!